Here we are. The 2018 Dr. Pepper Big 12 Football Championship game is here as the top two teams in the league meet for a Big 12 title. Hey everyone, I'm Aaron Pryor and this is Big 12 Big Football. As we all know, back in October, in the first meeting of these two teams, Texas built a 21-point fourth quarter lead as both teams brought the fireworks on a warm day at the Cotton Bowl. The Sooners furiously stormed back to tie the game before Cameron Dicker nailed the game-winning 40-yard field goal with 9 seconds left in the game as the Horns downed the Sooners 48-45. The Oklahoma Sooners come into Saturday's game as the number 5 team in the country in the latest CFP rankings and boast one of the best offenses in the country. The Sooners have the best total offense in the NCAA, putting up nearly 584 yards per game. That's 40 yards more per game than the next closest team, Ohio State. OU also leads the country in scoring offense at better than 50 points per game and have beaten their opponents by an average of 19.3 points in the Sooners' 11 wins this year. A win for Oklahoma would be the 4th straight conference title for OU, something that hasn't happened in all of college football since Florida did it back from '93 to '96. Oklahoma is also 8-1 in Big 12 championship games.
You know, we've had a nice history with it, but it's always difficult. You know, people ask me to compare the last 3, and they're all hard. You know, and you really respect it. And I've been in this league long enough, not only at Oklahoma, but at Texas Tech as well, where I have a great respect for the history of this league, how difficult it is to win it. And so when you get a chance to do it, you appreciate the journey.
The Longhorns come in as the only Big 12 team to have an all-time winning record against Oklahoma. In its first 9-win season since 2009, Texas is only allowing 25 points a game and has the second-best rush defense in the league, thanks to a monster D-line that has dominated all season long. Led by Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year Charles Omenihu, the Horns have gotten to the quarterback 28 times this year, including 86 tackles for loss this season. The Horns and Sooners also entered this game with 2 of, if not the 2 best wide receiving corps in the Big 12. First-team All-Big 12 receiver Hollywood Brown leads the Sooners in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Those 1,200-plus receiving yards include the fact that he has 8 touchdowns of 40 yards or more, including a 70 and 75-yard touchdown this season. The Longhorns also come into this game with studs at the wide receiver position. LJ Humphrey leads the bunch across the board, but Colin Johnson and Devin Duvernay have clearly made their impact felt this year as well. In fact, coming into the season, Coach Herman knew what he had at wide receiver, and the development that these players made in the offseason has clearly made an impact on this Longhorn team.
Colin Johnson, improved his consistency. He's as good a 50-50 ball, jump ball guy as I've been around. Devin Duvernay, certainly the first thing you notice is speed, but he's strong. He's a good blocker on the perimeter too, and he's a guy that can go get the ball when it's in the air. LJ Humphrey is, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. He can play outside, inside. He can play tailback. He can play quarterback if you need him to.
For Oklahoma, Kyler Murray's impact can't be undersold. The Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year is putting up record numbers, including tops in the nation in yards per completion and yards per pass attempt, and he's second in the NCAA in passing efficiency rating, total offense, and points responsible for per game. The Heisman hopeful leads the Big 12 in completion percentage and touchdowns, and he's second in total yards and yards per game. The Sooners have won 6 out of the last 9 versus Texas. The Horns lead the all-time series, though, and beat OU earlier this year, and this is only the 3rd time since 1900 that these two teams have played twice in the same year. All that's to say, I've got no clue who's going to win this game, but I do know that when the 2 best teams in the Big 12 get together for a Big 12 title, especially when it's Texas and Oklahoma, anything can happen. Thanks for watching, everyone, and enjoy the game.